Welcome to another episode of Gaming Performance. I'm your host. I returned with another video and per request, try to provide you some performance. So let us begin. It has come to my attention that in Black Ops 6, the performance is very inconsistent and low versus Modern Warfare 3. I've been researching and trying to find an answer, and I finally found one once I started to get more information on how Ricochet works. It was brought to my attention that Ricochet is similar to the anti-cheat in Vanguard. The difference is Vanguard provides documentation while Activision does not provide any documentation. So let's go to Vanguard. In order to play the game, you need to enable TPM 2.0, switch to having a UEFI enabled in your BIOS, enable secure boot, the IOMMU, that must be enabled, which is the virtualization, have core isolation enabled, which is found in Windows Defender, and make sure you update Windows. These things need to be enabled. There are a lot of people out here who may have one or two of these disabled. If you have one, two, or three of these disabled for whatever reason, whenever you play Call of Duty, you will not be able to get the performance you're looking for. There's a performance degradation. I don't understand why that is, but it is. Now I'm about to show you some results, and I'm going to go to Modern Warfare. I'm going to show you the before, right? Here's the date, the after. Versions are the same. I did it 2 days later because I found out 2 days later. As you can see, my performance jumped from 318 to 330. If I go side by side, you will see a notable improvement on all of them. So let's try Black Ops 6. Now, I will note to you that the temperature readings are messed up. The game was patched, and for some reason, it's not working like it should. It was working before it got patched. Now it's not working. I'm not sure what's going on with that. However, there is some bugs in this game. Also, the graphs on this game is bugged as well. You will notice that the bar for 285 is lower than the bar for 271. And for 330 is lower than 271. So this is bugged also. This needs to be addressed and fixed. Fit and polish, people. Come on. This is embarrassing. This was always my performance. 277, somewhere around there. And as you can see, numeric values are correct, except the graph that represents them is not. And this is the after. 285. So I went from 277 to 285 in Black Ops 6, and you can see that in most of the sections I've had gains, if not the same performance. And if you can take a quick look, I'll show you here. You'll notice that the bottleneck is about the same, The date today versus 2 days ago, and the version is exactly the same. Just want to make sure that's clear. Nothing changed. I didn't use any different drivers. Everything else is the same. And I wanted to point this out so that you can do the same. Now, it's going to take some research on your part based on what motherboard and CPU you're using to make sure that, according to Vanguard, since they do document this information, that you want to make sure you enable TPM 2.0, make sure you are using UEFI, which is mostly the case. Enable secure boot if you haven't. Enable virtualization. You can look that up. IOMMU is for virtualization. That's in the BIOS. And go into Windows Defender and make sure you enable core isolation. And just make sure in general Windows is updated. And you will notice improvement in performance. I cannot explain why this is doing this. My only thought is that for whatever reason, if you disable any of these, even one of them, it doesn't function correctly and it causes CPU cycles that you cannot see through Task Manager. So because these features are not available to be seen normally, you don't know that your CPU is being utilized and not functioning correctly. I also noticed that when you disabled those features in the BIOS, Windows wasn't as snappy or performant as it was when you either disable all of them or enable all of them. Disabling one or two of them, I noticed that, for example, I have a folder full of pictures. It would always take a few seconds for them to pop up. Now that these are all enabled, they all pop up at the same time. Features that I use at desktop are more snappier when they load into them and stuff like that. 2D applications are more responsive than normal. Apparently, this is more than just the game itself. In Windows, things become a little bit more responsive and a little less laggy. Other than that, this is how you get more performance, at least in Black Ops 6 and Modern Warfare 3. I thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.